past. Yes, I'm wearing the same clothes because I'm actually filming this on Saturday. It is still Saturday, February 20th, but I wanted to show you all an update on the begonia that I potted back in January. Yeah, I think it was around January that I repotted this. Actually, I think it was around Martin Luther King Day weekend, maybe. So about a month ago that I repotted this begonia for my friend. And the reason I'm showing you this today is because tonight I'm meeting my friend for dinner. So it is going to go back to her home. So the begonia is going back home, but I wanted to show you the update on the plant. It's looking amazing since it's been repotted in fresh soil and the Miracle Grow mix that I use. So obviously the Miracle Grow soil that I use has plant food already mixed into it. So I haven't had to fertilize it or anything, but that definitely helps the plant acclimate to the new soil. So you can see that it has some new blooms coming on it. So whenever I repotted it, it did not have any blooms on it. There are blooms on in 3 different sections, as well as if you can see down in here, there is a whole bunch of new growth down at the base of the plant as well as up here at the tops. So, it's doing amazing. I think it's going to do great. And I'm excited for Lynette to get her plant back that she's had for many, many years. So I know this is a meaningful plant to her. So I'm glad that it is going back home. I hope it acclimates to its home, back to its home well. I'm sure it will. And I'm sure Lynette will ask me any questions that she has, if there are any, and it will do great. So I just wanted to give you an update on the begonia. Look how nice and green and shiny those leaves are too. So really excited about that. So there we go. Now let's go back to the present. Hi Inns, how are you doing today? Happy Sunday, February 21st. I was right. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you like the Gerald from the past. I'm now Gerald in the present. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I've had lots of new subscribers and I appreciate you all coming, subscribing, clicking that like button if you like what you see, and continuing to come back and hang out with me. I hope you also enjoy the lovely soundtrack of my neighbor upstairs if you are able to hear that. Anyways, I have lots to show you today, so let's go ahead and jump right on in. First off, I had a question about this book. This is the book that I received in January-ish that I got in the mail. It's Renato Perelin. You can see right there, Renato Perelin, Venice or Venice in English. Again, it is all in English, English. It's all in French. It's a French published book. As you can see here, French published book, or maybe it's Italian. I think it's French though. But it's either French or Italian published book. So unless you can read that language, it's basically just a bunch of patterns. I cannot read that, so I just look at the pretty patterns. But the only way in America that I was able to get this book was on eBay. So I don't know of any other way to find it except through eBay. So if you're looking for this book, I was able to find it on eBay. There may be other sources, but any of the books or of his, I was able to find them through eBay. I got both of his books that I have. This one and the best of Renato Perelin through eBay. How many times can I say eBay? All right, so there is that. I'm sitting this way because, as you can see, whenever I move around for some reason, I think it's because of all the backlighting that I have today, but I didn't want to move just because it's easy for me to set up here at my computer and use my computer for these quick daily videos. So we are getting lots of natural sunlight coming in. The snow is melting outside. It's still pretty cold though. I've been cold all day, but my plants are loving it. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the projects that I've been working on in the last day. I pulled out my dishcloth, and again, this is dish sheet. The blues are horrible to show on camera, but anyways, this is dish sheet. That is kind of what it looks like in real life. Maybe a little bit more green than what it actually is. And this is called Azure. And here's what I have done so far. So I think I put another 2 or 3 more repeats in. So I have 5 more repeats to go, and then this cloth will be bound off. So that's all of my knitting progress so far. Again, this is, I forget what the name of this is, but it's a free dishcloth pattern on Ravelry. If I can remember, I will link it below, but we all know I'm horrible at linking below, patterns and information below. So it's a free dishcloth pattern on Ravelry. I want to say it's called the Boxy dishcloth. Actually, I'm 99% sure this is called Boxy dishcloth. It just dawned on me and it came to my head. So there we go. Dishcloth that I'm working on currently. Next up, I have a lot of cross-stitch patterns that well, not really a lot. I have 3 cross-stitch patterns projects that I've worked on in the last 24 hours. Let's get rid of this notification on my screen because it's annoying me. So the first thing that I worked on was London. The Governor, London. It is a kit I'm stitching from 18 count black Aida using the called for DMC threads that came in the kit. So again, this is what it will look like when it is done and finished and wonderful, but I am not there yet. And this is what I've accomplished. So here we are. This is what is done. And so basically I finished everything in this lower portion of the building, of the National Gallery. And then I was like, I can't do anymore. I wanted to continue working on this, but I didn't have it in me. And so I worked on this until about 4:30 last night, and then I got to where I needed to be, and I really couldn't do any more. And so I put it away. And I haven't touched it since, and I think it's going to be put away for a little bit. So that is where we are at. I even looked at the chart and I was like, well, maybe I'll come over and do this part instead of doing the rotunda, or I'll work on, I didn't have it in me to work on it. And I did not want to ruin my stitching mojo because I have so much I want to do. So that is where we got to. I still absolutely love it. I think it looks fantastic. But, and I got to a good spot, and I think that's the problem. I think I got to a spot that I like, and so I was ready to put it away. So all of this lower portion of the National Gallery is done, and so I put it away for now. So that is London. Then, I always like to keep my stuff with me. That's what's so great about needle minders. And you know, I have specific needle minders that I use for everything, even though whenever I take stuff off of the Q-snaps, I take the needle minder off as well. So like this, whenever I take this off the Q-snap, my needle minder will come off, but I use my compass needle minder for this project. For some reason, I just associate it with this project. Next up, I then decided that this project was really calling to me. And so I really wanted to work more on it. So that's what I did. So this is my Little House Needleworks coming to America. And again, I'm stitching this on 28 count Mushroom Lugana from Zweigart, but I am stitching this, but I coffee dyed it. And again, I put that coffee dye tutorial up. That's a piece of coffee. I did the exact same thing in that tutorial that I did for this piece. So basically what I did was I did everything in on this skyline that I possibly can based on where I am in the Q-snap. And then I did the word New York. So here is the progress. And I'm really, really happy with how it's turning out so far. So everything in the skyline is done. New York, this is a beautiful blue. This is all DMC. Everything here that I stitched today is all DMC. This blue is an amazingly beautiful blue. DMC has some great colors for an inexpensive floss line. So there is what I have done so far. I am not sure. So this is the end of the pattern here. So I could really move it over and finish up the skyline, which is what I'm going to end up doing next. But I'm not sure if I want to. Initially, I said I wasn't going to stitch these rows of border at the top and the bottom. And I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, because one, whenever I go to frame it, it's going to make it kind of hard to frame. Anytime you have a straight line as a border, whenever you want to frame, it makes it hard to frame. There's my back. But that's where we are on Coming to America. So very pleased with how everything is turning out. I am not sure. I'm going to have to make sure I cut some of these strands very, very short, because I can see, like, whenever I go to frame, some of those colors are definitely popping through the floss or the fabric. I have not done the back stitch on the ship. I'm going to wait until the very end to do that, because I don't want them to get wonky if it gets caught underneath the Q-snap whenever I go to move the Q-snap. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is moving the Q-snap so I can continue working along this top, finishing up this skyline and get it done. I didn't really enjoy stitching it. That's why I'm trying to knock it out. And then I will do the word Boston and Baltimore. The last thing I want to do is the building. So I want to go ahead and do Boston and Baltimore, get the skyline done. And then the only thing I'm not sure about is Boston and Philadelphia are the same color. I almost kind of want to have Philadelphia stand out as a different color just because I live near Philadelphia. So I don't know if I want to have it as a separate color than Boston, or if I want to have all the words across the top as the blue and then Philadelphia be a separate color, or what I want to do. I'm not sure yet on that. Otherwise, it's coming along nicely. So once again, here is Coming to America. So next time you see it, the Q-snap will be moved. I'm using all the called for DMC threads, but once again, I did change out the classic Colorworks threads because I don't have any of those. So after I'm all set and done, I will give you I can provide a color conversion, but I can't guarantee you're going to be able to get all of those colors just because some of them might be unavailable at this time. Next up, I pulled out, oh yeah, the last thing I stitched on today was my Long Dog Samplers, Le Jardin de Plaisir. Again, this is another color converted design that I am doing. I'm stitching this on a 36 count color and cotton linen called patina. And here is where we, again, this is not going to look right on the most likely it's not going to look right on the camera because it's blue and my blues do not show up right. Oh, yeah, it's definitely showing more green than what it actually is. It's definitely a more blue and purpley color than what it actually is. Kind of over here is more of what it actually shows. So what I wanted to do was stitch enough to get all three colors in. So again, this is only a this entire design is only three colors. So initially it is black 310, gray 414, and red 304 if you're using the DMC. I am using DMC, but I converted it because I'm using this patina fabric from Color and Cotton. So I went ahead and stitched the length of this design, this border here, or this part of the white here, which is 38.66. And then I stitched in the brown star and the brown of the vine here, and then I put in the red fruit, berry, cherry. I don't know what it is. But, and because I had some people say, oh, I'm really curious to see how the red and the brown are going to play off of each other. So again, the brown is 38.57 and the red is 37.77. So together those three are there we go. All right, so there is what my design looks like. And I think it looks great so far. I really like it. I'm stitching 1/1, or I'm sorry, 1/2 on the 36 count. So one strand of DMC over 2 strands of the fabric. And I think it looks, I really like it. So once you stand back and you can see, I think it looks great. And when you're up really close, you can definitely see the sparseness of the threads. But to me, I think it's going to look great when it's all said and done. I really like the colors. I think it gives it kind of a rustic look to it. It gives it a gardeny vibe, which is why I went with this fabric. Even though on here it looks more green on the screen, it's more of like a brown, browny blue purpley color. Like this is blue, whereas these darker shades are more like a brown purple. So I think it's kind of gardeny because, you know, it has flowers and moths, hummingbirds, insects, I don't know, whatever that is. So that is where we are. So that is my very first long dog I've ever stitched so far, and that is where we're at. And yes, you can see I don't have all of the legs done on some of the cream color. And I will get there whenever I get there. But I ran out of the floss and I didn't want to go again because then it goes off onto the next section. And I really wanted to come back and work on this other stuff. So that is where we are at on my long dog. So where does that leave me as far as what I'm going to work on tonight? Because it is now 4:30 this evening. Once I get this video up and loaded, I have the rest of the night to work on stitching or knitting or whatever I want to craft on. So I thought I was going to be working on London, but it's really not drawing my attention. So I think I'm going to pull my Britain and Stitches back out and work on this for a little bit. I don't know if it'll be an all-night thing. Maybe it will be. That'd be great because I could get some good, decent progress done on it. But this is what I think we're going to work on tonight. and then we'll see what else we end up to. And I might work on Coming to America. I'm really interested in just working on that one as well. But I definitely want to get back to working on this on more of a daily basis type of thing. So here we go. Here is where I am at on London, on Britain, the British Isles. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to come back over here and work on some place names. I still have some border up in here to go as far as page 8, because that's the page that I'm working on, is page 8. So I'm just, whenever I sit down is where I'm going to start working on this design. So once I sit down, then I'll decide what I want to do. But that is my starting point for tonight. So once I get done filming here, this is where we're going to go. So I hope you all have a great, I hope you have had a great weekend. I wish you the best of luck in the coming work week. I am going to most likely have an entire work week in the building at work. Wish me luck. I hope I have the stamina and the energy to make it through the week. I've been trying to up my exercises and energy here at home just to help stimulate some energy so that whenever I go into the building, I have the stamina to make it through. I think I'll be fine. But, you know, by the end of by Friday, who knows? I'm probably going to be exhausted, but I will make it. I will do the best that I possibly can, and we will go one day at a time. But until I see you again, maybe tomorrow, maybe another day. We'll have to wait and see. I hope you all have a great night. Happy stitching. Happy crafting. And until I see you again, don't forget to always be creative.